in the 16 years between 1971 and 1986. Emyaka eyo 16 71 okutuuka 86 twasobola okukolawo ejja epya n'ekibiina ekipya ekiyimiridde ku misingi ey'okwagala Uganda, kwagala Africa, okukyusa embeera y'abantu na democracy. Nevertheless, in all that time, we always tried to engage all the political groups of Uganda to see whether we could not form the widest possible alliance to help us transform Uganda. Hence, we engaged all the groups always, UPC, DP, Kabaka Yeka, the Nabodele group, etc. By 1986, when we defeated the remnants of the mistake makers of 1962, abantu bakola ensobi okuva 62 bali mu nsobi. Kati tutuuse emyaka 86, emyaka 24 tuli mu nsobi zokka. Bali ku mawanga, bali ku madiini, bye balimu. Emyaka 24 from 1962 to 1986. By 1986, when we defeated the remnants of the mistake makers of 1962, the neo-colonial economy of the 3 C's and 3 T's, the small enclave economy that was accommodating only 9% of the homesteads by 1962, had almost disappeared because of the bankruptcy and brutality of the Idi Amin group. Cotton and copper had collapsed, and so had tourism and tea. Only coffee and tobacco were still limping on. Therefore, our mission was now twofold. Kati 86 na twalina ebintu bibiri ebinene ebyokukola. Number 1, restore the small island of the 3 C's and the 3 T's where possible and necessary. And 2, transform the whole of Ugandan economy and society as we had always intended. Kati jukira myaka gyenkaaga twali tetumatidde n'enzirukanya y'ensi n'enzirukanya y'ebyenfuna. Naye ate okuva 71 n'akatono akaaliwo gyenkaaga Amini yali akajjeewo. So now 86 twalina okukola ebintu bibiri eby'amaanyi. Okusooka okuzzaawo kali akazinga k'abazungu ak'ennyuguta 3, emwanyi, pamba n'ekikomo kya kirembe, ate n'etaaba, caayi wamu n'obulambuzi. Kali akazinga k'ebyenfuna abazungu ke baali balese wano, ffe twali tutulaba nti akazinga ako tekamala. Naye ate Amini bwe yayingira akazinga n'akasanyawo. So now 86 we had now a double problem. Number 1, restore okuzawo akazinga, okuva edda okukyusiza ddala ebyenfuna bya Uganda. To put these 2 missions to the people of Uganda, okwagala okutegeeza abanyuganda ensonga zino ebbiri, we put forward the 10 points program of the NRM. Twalangirira ensonga 10 za NRM. Tuli munsuko. Point number 5 of those points talked of building an independent, integrated, self-sustaining economy, linked both vertically and horizontally. In spite of obstructions by the parasites, the uninformed, and the traitors, we have done exactly that. We have moved through or into five phases. Phase 1, bring back the small island economy of 1980 that Amin and the subsequent regimes had destroyed, totally informalizing the economy into one of magendo, smuggling, Chibanda, forex black market, Kusamra, speculation, resulting in terrible shortages. By 1995, the shortages had ended, and so had the informalization. Cotton had been restored, and so has tea and tourism, but not copper yet, because we insist on a higher value for it. Phase 2, expand the island. We have done that. Coffee has grown from 2 million bags now, tea from 3 million kilograms to 60 million kilograms, not 6, to 60 million kilograms. Write it properly. Tourism, from earning US dollars 132 million in 1970 to now earning $1.28 billion. Phase 3, we have diversified the products in the money economy. The British had misdirected our people by telling them that cash crops were coffee, cotton, tea, cocoa, and tobacco, and maize, milk, bananas, cassava, etc. were not cash crops, but only food products for subsistence purposes. That's what the British, abazungu bali bayigiriza abantu baffe nti ebikola sente ze mwanyi, pamba, koko, chai, netaba. Kasoli oyo wakulya buli. Amata gabalala okunywera mu lukoola. Ente z'ennyama ezo muzirireyo mu lukoola, temuzireeta wano mu tawuni. Amatooke, musogole omwenge gwe muba mubeerako eyo mu kyalo. So that those are not cash crops. So you had a place like in Ntungamo which I know very well. You know, Ntungamo is post office, private bag mbara. They don't even have a post office number. Bagamanti Ntungamo pure private bag mbara. Have any cash crop. There were only a few families in Deja sub-county, then a few families in Buonjara. They were also there. I was hearing about them. Then a few families in Cheizova, one of the sub-counties. And then later on, some families in Chamhunga started tea. But the rest of us who were there, we had cows, we had bananas, but no cash. No cash crop. I rejected this logic. The basic human needs, the basic human needs here. This is basic. The basic human needs are food, clothes, shelter, that is housing, locomotion, vehicles, medicine, utilities like electricity, and services such as education and health. If you produce a product or a service for any of these purposes, it is potentially a cash product. All these are money. They are food, but also money. Therefore, on the agricultural side, we now have bananas, maize, cassava, Irish potatoes, milk, beef, sorghum, sugar, etc., as cash crops or cash products on top of the original colonial cash crops. That's our situation. Bali bagamba nti omukaaga, ffe tugamba nti 40 kumpi. Byonna bikola sente, bino byonna byemenya wano. Phase 4, we have been insisting on value addition. Where we have succeeded, returns are very high. The milk industry was initiated, has expanded, and we are producing a number of final products such as long shelf, long haul liquid milk, long shelf life liquid milk, yogurt, ghee, butter, powdered milk, and derivatives from milk such as a protein known as casein, apparently needed in food supplements and medicine. Maize processing is growing to produce maize flour, akahunga, animal feeds, starch, etc. Cassava processing is growing, producing cassava flour, starch, ethanol, etc. With coffee, we are determined to add value to it, so that instead of a kilogram giving us $25, it gives us $25. No, instead of giving us $2.5, this is 2.5, my people. 2.5, it gives us $25 to 40, and creates more jobs for our people. Cotton, the shirts I always put on are from our cotton. The shirt I'm putting on right now is from our cotton with polyester added from outside. You Ugandans, please help us to get rid of imported clothes, including dead people's clothes. Engoye z'abafu zemuleeta wano zimuyita second hand. Engoye z'abafu Banyankole bazita mtwijuro. We squander $418 million per year on imported cloth. Phase 5 has been the introduction of the knowledge economy. This is the economy that is not just based on more processing of the mere processing of the raw materials. It involves the greater use of science and skills. This is where the automobiles industry is, the vaccines, the vaccine making, the assembling and manufacturing of computers and computer parts. That's where they come in. Our economy was $3.9 billion in 1986. It is now $55 billion. It has been growing at the rate of 6.3% per year for the last 38 years. We are now a lower middle income country with the GDP per capita of $1,154. Therefore, the groups that have been misinforming the public recently about the parasitic agencies that we are rationalizing, especially coffee, are a disgrace to the country. I even feel embarrassed to participate in the controversy. Mpura n'okuswala eggwanga lyonna okubeerawo boogala ku bitaliimu mwanyi. That's why I've called all these people to help you understand. It's really kiswaza n'okuswaza okusanga awo abantu baguumalidde mu bitaliimu ebyomugaso ne babyerabira. How could anybody who wants Uganda to grow spend even 1 week, let alone the 7 years we have spent on this subject, on this issue, discussing such an obvious issue? This sentence is mixed up. We shall sort it out. Suppose we had only coffee with our wonderful UCDA. How would the country survive? Because you see, coffee. Now suppose, okay, let's say, we now say, okay, thank you very much. Let's only do coffee. Kubanga UCDA, now another people are saying, coffee. We only do coffee. Now, suppose we did that. How could the country survive? With a population of 46 million, each person needs 2,000 calories per day. Kubanga abasayansi basobola okubala petrol yombiri gye gwetaaga peteroli in the form of calories, bazita calories mu luzungu, eziva mu mmere, coming from food. And they are saying that another person needs 2,000 calories per day. With 46 million people, we would need 550,000 metric tons of wheat to feed ourselves. This would cost, okulya kwokka emigati engano would cost US dollar 380 million per year imported from outside. This is just eating. How about clothing? How about cement and other building materials for shelter? Moreover, Uganda is not like Japan or South Korea or those countries where the main and sometimes the only resource is a skilled population that they use to manufacture cars, etc. Uganda has both the human resource and the natural resource. We shall use them to create prosperity for our people. So therefore, while some of the people, the colonialists, we are talking about coffee, cotton, and copper, and tea, tobacco, and tourism. For us, we are talking about 60 efforts. We are talking about 60 products, bananas, cocoa, milk, beef, maize, cassava. Cassava is going to be a very big money earner. It's already becoming one. Sugar cane, we are talking about all of those. Then we are talking about the industrial products. We are not including the industrial products. Cement, what. We are talking about a full economy, not a partial economy. These side agencies, UNRWA, UCDA, DDA, etc., were a temporary measure. Were temporary measures that I accepted at the beginning of our government, mainly because of the low pay for our public servants and their low enthusiasm and motivation for work. The logic was that for particular projects, in order to ensure implementation, create a side group outside the public service, pay them well, and facilitate them well, so that the project is implemented. It was tied to particular effort. I did not fully accept this logic, but I also did not oppose it, because we had much more serious problems at that time. We, the FRONASA, NRA, NRM, always work for patriotism, not for money. And indeed, other Ugandans do the same. The research scientists at Kawanda, Chituza, Serere, etc., and the leaders have been working for low salaries for most of this time. Baliwano, I've called some of the research people. I think one of them can speak. Do you speak? Who speaks English? Okay. Put on your microphone and speak what you do.
Your Excellency, at NARO, an agency as fisheries, we conduct agricultural research on crops and forestry. Your Excellency, I started working in 1988. At that time, the research wing was under the ministry. And then in 1992, when NARO was established, I was moved from the ministry to NARO. And I've been able to get up in the ranks, and today I'm the Director General for NARO. Your Excellency, over the years, NARO has been able to develop over 1,000 different crops is developed by the scientists under NARO. Your Excellency, specifically to coffee, in 1991, you will remember very well, Dr. Israel Kibirige Sebunya was able to promote the then 8 colonial coffee varieties, what we called colonial coffee. And these were promoted, and then in 1997, NARO under Kituza started what we call a breeding program for the second generation coffee varieties. Your Excellency, I'm glad able to develop a total of KR up to KR10. K stands for Kituza, R stands for Robusta. Your Excellency, we have now also been able now to start a breeding pipeline for also Arabica coffee. I'm glad to report to you, Your Excellency, that previously we have been able to release also 3 Arabica coffee varieties. We now have a pipeline for Robusta coffee and a pipeline for Arabica coffee. And we have near promising varieties, 5 of them for Robusta, and near promising other varieties, 3 for Arabica coffee.
Okay, thank you. Now, are you under UCDA?
Your Excellency,
because some people have been saying, no UCDA, no coffee. Now, are you under UCDA?
Yes, we are under the ministry, we are not under UCDA.
Now, how much money were you earning in 1988? How much salary?
Your Excellency, when I joined service, my first salary was 2,824. When I first joined service in the ministry. It was 2,000 shillings. 2,000
Hello. While the UCDA were getting high salaries, these people were getting low salaries. Like us, we the freedom fighters. We were not working for money, we were working for our country. So therefore the other logic, which was actually being pushed by the donors, of saying that no high salaries, no work. We have never accepted it, but we had to keep quiet. You don't have to fight every wrong idea. We had to say, okay, if you think it can help, you start these agencies. And that's how they started. But we, the scientists, as you hear, continued working with low pay. We, the freedom fighters, the political workers, were working, getting low pay. These UCDA were getting high pay. Mm-hmm. But the main work was being done by the scientists. I will come to that later. However, the research scientists have developed for us excellent banana, coffee, tea, cassava, beans, etc., seed materials, and we have promoted their widespread growing in the country in spite of getting low salaries. So the people who have done the work for, not only for coffee, for all the other crops, the scientists getting low pay, not under UCDA, and we, the reformers, you can call us the reformers, who want our people to get out of poverty, who now go and propagate and advise to preach the gospel of get out of poverty, do this, do that, do that. However, since some people were insisting that mercenary motivation is the only motivation, I did not mind trying it out as we moved on with our broad program. Because there were those who were saying, no, these people need, let's put them aside, give them high salaries. Okay, because for us we are continuing with our program anyway. We left them, so you try your group. Those agencies, however, never performed well at all, in spite of the huge money we were spending on them. How do I know this? Regarding the DDA, regarding the diary, it was me who had to do all the work, starting with 1989, when I started in the Nyabshoz area. I've written about this in different documents. Regarding UCDA and NADS, I know that they were doing no work or little work, because in 2013, when I launched Operation Wealth Creation at Butarangwa, Nakaseke, a whole of 68% of the homesteads in Uganda were still in subsistence farming. Here with me are the witnesses that can inform the public about the no work or little work of UCDA and NADS. Now, when I was worried about the future of the country, that's when I started Operation Wealth Creation. I brought soldiers because the figures, the data, were showing that there was a majority of the people were outside the money economy, 68%. kati abaserikale abali mu kaweefube abali wano muyinza kuwa obujulizi. Samba wali katandike ne Samba teekako omuzindaalo oyogere mu Luganda no muteekereko omuzindaalo.
Your Excellency, sir, Amanya Kano Samba, Coordinator, Wealth Creation, Weta Masaka.
Sembera omuzindaalo.
Okusookera ddala nsooka okwebaza Your Excellency okuteekawo purogulaamu ey'okukulaakulanya Bannayuganda. Your Excellency, watwapointingira okutandika okusomesa abantu okubajja mu bwavu naddala mu bintu eby'enjawulo ekisookera ddala okulima emmwanyi. Your Excellency, wetwajjukira nti bulungi wetwatandikira okutandika okugabira abantu emmwanyi n'okubasomesa ennima y'emmwanyi oluvannyuma lw'okutwala e Makerere ne batuwa emisomo, ekyo nakyo tukikwebaliza. Your Excellency, emmwanyi naddala emmwanyi ze twatandikirako okugaba twatandika 2013 mpaka 2019. Weta Masaka tulina districts 10 ne tubeera ne constituency 22 ne tubeera ne county 84
Sub county
amagombolola ne tubeera ne parishes 404. Your Excellency, tulina district 10 ngenda kutandika ne Bukomansimbi. Bukomansimbi twagaba emmwanyi miliyoni 18 n'emitwalo 7 nga zikola acreage emitwalo 4 mu 15,505. Kalangala twagaba emmwanyi emitwalo 2 nga zikola acreage 4,640. Kalungu twagaba miliyoni 3 nga zikola
emitwalo
miliyoni
yes okay.
miliyoni 3 nga zikola emitwalo 67,733. Kyotera twagaba emmwanyi miliyoni 3,515 nga zikola acres emitwalo 12,222. Lwengo district twagaba miliyoni 3,3,243 nga zikola acres emitwalo 7,374. Lyantonde twagaba emitwalo 22,319 nga zikola acres 496. Masaka district twagaba millions 2,884,839 nga zikola yika emitwalo 4,633. Lakai twagaba $10,889 nga zikola yika 24,2 Sembabule twagaba